Hey, beautiful people, I'm Colin, and welcome to another episode of Strategy in Spirit. Today, we're talking about, that ugly creature of self-doubt. I have this little voice in my head, and it says this: Colin, who do you think you are? It literally plays on loop in my head. This very podcast only exists because I did it anyway. I did it anyway. In spite of that voice in my head. We all have it. We all have this narrative of feeling inadequate, of doubt. And it's rooted in fear, and it's driven by our biomechanical, the part of our brain, the amygdala, that just is looking to protect us, right? Believe it or not, that little voice is from a place of love. And when we appreciate that, hey, in making this podcast, for example, I'm not going to die. The world's not going to explode because I've made this podcast. And yet my body is reacting as though I'm going to die. Making this podcast is going to kill me. It's bizarre, isn't it? We are looking at that in contrast with the call to express ourselves through our work. The call to create something big, something different, something that changes lives. Bruce Lee in the movie The Dragon said, if you drop a pebble into a pond, it makes ripples. Soon the ripples cover the whole pond. That's the reality of doing true creative work, of bringing forth a piece of creation, of partaking in the wonderful unfolding of the universe. We become that pebble dropping into the pond. Now think about that pebble for a moment. That pebble that drops into the pond, it doesn't jump back out again to watch the ripples and see, hey, look what I've done. Look at this. Look how the ripples are going all the way over there. Look, those ducks are moving now because I've made those ripples. The pebble drops into the pond and falls down through the water until it settles on the base of the pond. And so too, when we endeavor in creative work, we can't help it. We get caught up in, well, where are the ripples? I just dropped into this pond here. Where are the ripples? The water looks pretty still to me. And we're always looking back, and we're always looking up, and we're always looking in front. We're always looking around to see the effect of dropping into the pond. Krishna talks about dharma, doing your dharma, following it full out. But at the same time, not having any attachment to the outcome of that dharma, to the ripples in the pond. Now, it is a fact, it is a universal truth that when a pebble drops in a pond, ripples happen. That same universal truth applies in the world of creation, in the invisible world that we don't see, the one that we feel, the one that we know impacts the plane of existence that is not the physical plane, right? When we put ourselves out there, there's another topic for discussion, right? When we express that which needs to be expressed through us, that is the pebble dropping into the pond, and that causes ripples, and that affects the hearts, the minds, the souls of others in the world. The whole pond. We are all, in this instance, we're rocks dropping into the pond, right? But we are all the pond. We are all of it. We are the rock, the pond, the water molecules, the floor, the sky, the trees, the ducks, the fish. We are all of it. And so it's easy to just stay focused on the effect of what we're doing, the effect of the creative work. This is where the problem of self-doubt really comes from, because yes, it's fear, right? And it's driven in that amygdala, that part of the brain that tries to keep you safe. If somebody's running at you with an axe, it's going to fire up, it's going to send chemicals around your body, and it's going to trigger your ability to run like hell and get out of there. The fight, flight, or freeze mechanism, you may have heard of that. But it doesn't serve us when it comes to the act of creation, the act of connecting with our higher selves, of connecting with that thing, that force, that thing that is bigger than us, doesn't help us when it comes to dropping the pebble in the pond. Because the pebble holds above the pond and we just hold it. We're like, no, I can't let it go. Look, the water's already moving. There's already ripples. What have I got to add to this? I have this voice in my head and it just says to me, Colin, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And it comes up for me every time I am creating anything. It's always there. It's always there. And yet at the same time, as that voice is calling, there's a light, there's a flicker, there's something else. There's both of these things are going on at the same time. That's why it's called a duality, right? We've got the voice of doubt. Oh, who do you think you are, Colin? Nobody wants to listen to you, son. Just don't do it. Go and watch a bit of Netflix. Go and have another coffee. Don't do this. Don't record this episode. Nobody needs to hear it. And yet at the same time, there's like a fire, a light on the inside. It's hard to describe. It's obscured, but I can see it in my mind's eye. And you can see this flicker and you get this call, you get this like allure, this like sense of, oh, there's something magical here. There's something special here. And I need to follow it. And I don't know how, but I need to follow it. Another thing that comes up then is, hasn't it all been said and done? Like, why do we even need to drop in the pond? It's all been done already, hasn't it? Everybody's said it. There's nothing new under the sun. And this just fuels the doubt, right? So what we focus on is what we see. Jordan Peterson says that energy flows where attention goes. So if we give our attention to that, then it fuels it. But the reality is that there's only one you in the world. No matter where, how you're experiencing this life right now, there's only one of you. There's only one you seeing the world in the way that you see it. We're all seeing the world, right? You know, they say the wheel, you can't reinvent the wheel. You can't reinvent the wheel. It's already been invented. That's a fact. But we all are looking at the wheel and we're all seeing it differently because we all have this unique lens through which we see the world. This is our interpretation. And this is where that creative call really plays because it's looking for you to express that interpretation. It's looking for you to step in to that truest expression of self. To drop the pebble into the pond without desire for a specific outcome. Without wanting the ripples to be huge. Without wanting to cause a tsunami. Without even concerning yourself with the effect. Focusing instead on the act of dropping the pebble into the pond. And this is where you really have to fall in love with the process, with the act of creating, with the act of expressing. And so in that, on a practical level, we need to have some level of discipline, right? We need some level of ability to show up, do the work, and allow the magic to unfold. So that takes another thing as well, because we've got to get our physical bodies into a place where we can do the work, we can express. We have to sleep well, we have to eat well, we have to exercise, we have to meditate, we have to do all of the things that make us solid in our foundation. And then from that solid foundation, it's an illusion, right? The foundation is never solid, it's always fluid, it's always moving. But it gives us a base, it gives us a springing board from which we can explore what it means to be truest expression. And look, we've got to breathe, we've got to eat and drink, and we have to perform daily bodily biological functions. Beyond that, Abraham Maslow talks about actualization and the becoming of our higher self, our truest expression of self, as I call it. So when we are satisfied in our foundation, we're able to explore what that means. And that's when the voice comes up. That's when the doubt comes in, because we're about to go outside of what is comfortable. We're about to venture into the unknown. Uncertainty, doubt, fear, rears its head because it's trying to protect you. So instead of pushing that fear away and saying, hey, go away, you have no place here, that fear is your friend. That fear is trying to help, firstly, and it's part of you. So if we push it away, then we're denying a part of us. So it makes much more sense to try and reframe, try and shift the fear, the thoughts, the emotions, all of these things that come up. I heard it said in meditation about the river flowing, and the idea of the act of meditating is that the river flows. We don't try and stop the river. We don't try and block it. We don't try and dam it or reshape it or change its direction. We simply hop out of the river onto the bank, and we sit on the bank and we watch the flow of the river. And it's the act of watching. It's called witness consciousness, the seat of self, being in that place of seeing the flow without being swept up in it. That's what we're talking about here, is in recognizing that voice, that fear, as just a flow. It's just the flow. It's not good, it's not bad, it's none of those things. It's just the flow of living in this body, experiencing this experience, living this life. And when we seek to do something that expresses ourselves, that expresses that higher calling, truly, then that flow is going to come. Always that flow is going to come. And it doesn't matter where you are on the journey. It's always there. It's always there. Who do you think you are, Colin? Stop right now. Nobody wants to listen. Just turn it off. Turn it off. Go downstairs, have a cup of coffee, and watch Netflix. Play the PlayStation. I don't know. Do something. Do something for you, because nobody cares. It's always there. And so the reframe is in stepping out onto the riverbank and going, hey, flow, I see you. I love you. Bring love, bring gentle acceptance, bring a sense of gratitude in to the situation. So first we've got to be able to see, right? And if we can't see, none of this will happen because we're just swept away in the water. But when you can see, you can kind of go, oh. And it reminds me of Viktor Frankl's quote that between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space, we have a choice. And in that choice lies our growth and our freedom. So we have that choice once we are able to exercise that muscle of jumping out of the river. And in that choice, we can look and we can say, hey, I see you. I love you. Thank you so much for having my back. Thank you for watching out for me. And I know that you've got my best interest at heart here. And I'm grateful for you. Truly grateful. But this thing I'm doing right now, I'm recording a podcast. I'm just sharing the things that are happening in my world through my lens. I'm answering a call that I feel inside of me quite strong. And I'm going to answer that call. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to share my expression. I'm going to share my interpretation of universal truth as I see it and understand it. And whilst I appreciate you, I just can't have you derailing this. So I'm going to do it anyway. But I love you and I appreciate you and I see you. From that place, can you feel how the energy's shifted? How we are now less concerned with the potential implications. Eckhart Tolle calls it the hypothetical the potential futures that could exist if we step out of this comfort zone now. We're no longer living in the energy of fear. The energy's shifted. So all of a sudden the energy's changed. And now we're living in an energy of growth, of creativity, of curiosity. And curiosity is that precursor to beautiful creation. So the invitation here is to seek to reframe how you see fear, how you see self-doubt, how you see uncertainty. It lies in your ability to hop onto the bank and to be able to watch the flow. When you can do that, then you can see. Then you are in the privileged position of having a choice. What you do with that choice is up to you. The growth, the success, the fulfillment, impact that you can have in the world lies in that space, that choice. I have a saying on my inspiration board that I look at most mornings, and it's a quote from the Bible. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still and know. Be still. In that stillness, I use that quote as a reminder, an anchor to hop out of the river onto the bank, to be able to sit and be still and to shift that energy from one of, oh no, who do you think you are, Colin? To the sense of peace, to the sense of calm, to the sense of curiosity, of excitement, of playfulness. And from there we can explore. From there we can go down into Wonderland. We can just have fun. The care, the fear, the uncertainty just quietens down. Doesn't go away. We don't want it to go away, remember. It's part of us, but it gets quiet. And in that stillness, we're able to do the thing that we feel called to do. We're able to do that thing that we truly have a sense is the reason that we're here. We're able to follow our calling, our dharma. We're able to express the things that feel important to us. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is you showing up. Yeah, but I need to pay the bills. I need money in the bank. I need clients to do this. I need this. I need that. I need the other. You're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is nothing to do with you. This is nothing to do with you. Everything is happening. Everything is unfolding regardless. That dance is happening. The dance floor is full. And if we can just overcome, that's the wrong language. To just come to that place of acceptance, of seeing, being still and knowing. Oh, okay, I see. I can have some fun on that dance floor. I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to step, jump off the chair. I'm going to walk over and I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance my heart out. Take part. Be a part of the dance. That's when magic happens. That's the call of the Creator. It's a call that we all feel, but few act upon. My invitation to you is to explore what that means for you. And remember the pebble in the pond from earlier? We don't want to jump back out of the pond and concern ourselves with the ripples. We want to just enjoy and be 100% in the act of falling into the water. Fall into the water. Fall into creation, the creative act, and watch magic happen. Don't hold on. Don't be attached. Don't cling to any outcome of the magic happening. Just love the process. Just love the act of creating. The act of expressing. It's not heavy. It's so light. You're just expressing who you truly are. Who you truly are. This spark of divinity. This unique piece of creation. Express it. Love it. Enjoy it. Watch magic unfold. In awe and wonder. And when that voice pops up, hey, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, son? I'm Colin. I'm creating. I'm sharing. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. So go dance. Go play in the world. Go and express you in ways that feel right to you, in ways that feel true to you. Go be that pebble dropping into the pond. I'll see you next time.